HSBC is linking wealth and longevity in Singapore after health-related credit card transactions rose 35% over 5 years. Here's Ashmita Acharya of HSBC Singapore and Dr. Peter Chow of IHH Singapore to tell us more. Welcome, Ashmita and Dr. Peter. So, to start, why is HSBC Singapore moving into health and longevity services?
Lovely to be here. We're seeing a fundamental shift in how affluent clients think about wealth today. One of the major factors driving this shift is life expectancy, because it's not just about living longer, it's about living well for longer. With longer lifespans and rising healthcare expectations, health is increasingly becoming part of the wealth conversation. Our clients are placing more emphasis on preventive health, quality of care, and longevity alongside retirement and legacy planning. I think you mentioned this is reflected in our numbers. In Singapore, we've seen a 35% increase in the number of customers making health-related transactions on their HSBC credit cards over the last 5 years. To support this shift, we have brought together a comprehensive and dedicated suite of health and wellness services under a single integrated banking proposition, focusing on 3 key areas: priority access, preventive care, and healthy longevity. And through our partnerships with established healthcare providers such as IHH, we can offer our clients access to high-quality service in Singapore and the region to cater to their international lifestyles.
How about for you at IHH, Peter? What's driving the demand for wellness and longevity services?
Thanks for having us, Seth. I'm glad to be here. Like Ashmita mentioned, Singapore, as in this part of the world, people are living longer, they're living better. The number of affluent individuals have grown. So the next questions that they have to ask themselves would be, what do I do with my life? How do I enjoy the wealth and the resources that I have? That's where the mindset of both people as well as providers like IHH Healthcare will continue to shift from just managing sickness and diseases to how we can optimize health and optimize lives so that people live better. That is how that whole partnership with HSBC is based on.
But beyond financial returns today, what else do affluent clients want? Care to share, Ashmita?
Building a strong financial portfolio will always remain a top priority for our clients, but increasingly, we are seeing that it is no longer the sole measure of security and success for our affluent clients. Again, one of the key factors driving this shift is life expectancy. We are living longer and we need to plan better. We see this whenever we have conversations with our clients every day. Many are asking questions around personal well-being, supporting longer retirement, or how they can spend more meaningful time with family. They're looking for support in these areas so that it's not just about growing their wealth, but it's about living their wealth. And consumers will increasingly take a more holistic view of wealth, looking beyond financial outcomes to live their wealth through wellness and healthy longevity. So health and wealth will become a single interconnected ecosystem with longevity and preventive health care weaved into wealth management. So that is exactly the shift which we are seeing right now, Sess.
And from your side, in terms of expectations, Peter, what are affluent clients expecting from healthcare delivery?
In addition to what Ashmita mentioned, beyond just living longer, we know that traditionally, health span is always shorter than lifespan, right? And sometimes it lags by 5 years, sometimes even to the extent of 10 years. What I mean is in the last 10 years of your life, you could well be either bedridden or maybe having multiple chronic diseases. So very simple to illustrate. You can have wealth and you would like to travel, you would like to have adventure. But because if you will have bad knees, you will have a problem with a gout, for example. You have mobility issues, you cannot enjoy sports, you cannot enjoy lifestyle. The shift of expectations for some of these affluent clients would be, I want to live longer, but I want to also optimize my lifestyle. I want to be as healthy as long as I live so that I can enjoy life to the fullest. And that's our role, to help them prevent the onset of diseases. And if diseases come on board, how to minimize the effects and how to guide them and help them on the road to recovery. And that to help them to live as long as possible and as healthy as possible during the entire span of life.
We've also noticed that organizations, especially banks, have played a part recently. But are there any risks with banks entering healthcare-related services?
So, it says, in all fairness, we are not entering into healthcare related services. We are providing access, what I would say is exclusive access to these services to meet our clients' priorities and needs. If we look at how affluent consumer expectations and priorities are trending, the two key areas we keep on talking about, which are emerging, obviously, the holistic view of wealth is very right and center in what they want. They want to look beyond financial outcomes. They want to live their wealth. I keep saying this term, live their wealth, through wellness and longevity. And the other thing, what they do value is personalization and seamless access to trusted expertise, whether for banking, investments, international education, healthcare. So they're looking at a spectrum of needs which need to be addressed by one provider. Growing demand for health decisions to connect with wealth and financial planning. So consumers can plan for healthcare costs, protect their families, and make confident long-term choices. That is why what we are doing is we are supporting our clients through a comprehensive and dedicated suite of health and wellness services under a single integrated proposition.
So given that from your side, Peter, what should healthcare providers look out for when partnering with organizations?
I think partnering with banks and organizations like HSBC is an excellent opportunity for healthcare providers like us. Because actually what we are doing is trying to take on the perspective of the clients who actually view this as a continuous spectrum of needs. For the longest times, the banks have been helping their clients with legacy planning, resource planning, and wealth planning. And I think the next question that they want to think about is, how do I interweave this with how much I spend on preventive healthcare, optimizing my health and improving my lifestyle? I think this is where there is a natural opportunity for us to work together so that in a way, we help clients navigate as one rather than them having to navigate each of these silos by themselves and feeling lost. We are here and we are supporting decisions together as partners. And I think these are excellent opportunities for us to be able to support the entire population and our clients much better.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and for joining us today, Ashmita and Peter.
It was wonderful, Peter, to be in this discussion with you, and absolutely aligned. We work together and we bring the best of us to our clients.
Thank you. And I'm very excited over our partnership as well.
Once again, those were Ashmita Acharya, Head of International Wealth and Premier Banking at HSBC Singapore, and Dr. Peter Chow, CEO of IHH Singapore. For more news, visit sbr.com.sg.